Right, welcome to today's episode, which is out on the golf course very soon. But first of all, I want to ask you a question, and that is one that I asked myself in recent weeks, and that's how well I would perform with only irons in the bag. So yeah, that means removing driver, fairway woods, hybrids, and I've put a bag together which literally consists of putter through to the longest iron in the bag being a 3-iron, and I'm going to go out there and play 10 holes at Holywell Golf Club. The reason I'm doing this is because in recent weeks I found that whilst I might lose a little bit of yardage off the tee, I'm gaining in accuracy, and with the hard and firm fairways that there are out there right now, am I really losing any major distance, but really gaining significantly in terms of control and finding fairways? And we'll find out because we're both going to watch my recent 10 holes at Holywell Golf Club. Right, so it starts off with a few looseners, and this is a par 4, dogleg right to left, and all we want to do, I've got a 4 DHY, it's just hit straight down. Ideally not a cut, because this is moving you further away from the hole. You can aim, if we're going to take that cut shot, then it's close to that little green bush that you can see. It just means we left a longer second in, which was around 165. I had a really good 7-iron, but I don't know if it was an alignment thing, but I certainly pulled it down the left, and that's not a great position I find myself in. I choose a 60-degree Callaway Jaws wedge that I've been playing right now, and to be honest with you, this was a really nice shot. I can't see where it landed at the time, but more than happy with that chance for par, and even more happy with the fact that I sank it. So that's a good start with a par. Par 5 next, and this is a 3 DHY. Again, pretty much straight down there. You're going to be a little bit further left than I finished, and I'm going to end up amongst what I would call the hillocks. There's no real trouble down there. It's just a bit of a, well, what lie you get can be very questionable, but this isn't too bad, to be honest with you. Sitting okay. And this again is just about straight down, a 4 DHY. Them clubs I'm finding really so playable, and they go a long way. Fortunate to avoid that little bit of gorse. 94 in. I've got a gap wedge, and again, quite a nice smooth swing at the flag. I'm really happy with this, to be honest with you, in the air. And I was a bit surprised when we get to it. You'll see it's just pulled up short, and everything on this green runs away from you. But they had just been watered them just before we arrived, so a little bit slower than I'd have expected. And you can see with the putt, again, left it short. Now this plays a par 3 off the yellows, par 4 off the whites, and I prefer playing it from the whites because this is such a tough shot for me. It's 167 into a real tight green. Again, play the 7-iron. It's an awful shot, to be honest with you. You can tell there's no real commitment in there, and you can see me staring that one down. You know you're going to end up in a bit of trouble, which I was. I've got a little bit of a shot to try and punch one out. I chose an 8-iron, and it was a case of just keeping it below that first tree, which it did. And you know, as shots go, I'm really pleased with that. But once again, the putter came to the rescue, and that's a decent up and down. Right, 156 par 3. I played again 7-iron, just leaking out to the right-hand side, which is what's happening right now with my swing, but at least it's consistently doing that. We're trying to make changes, as you know. Now, this has got a real big swing on it. I chose to play that infamous ping chipper, which I really like around these kind of areas. And again, really happy with the way this finished. But I'm talking to Hannah about a big swing here that I know is in this sort of 2 or 3 footer. Almost talked myself out of it. And I don't know if it's a bad putt, bad read, no pace, whatever you want to call it, but a bogey from nowhere.
Just needed hitting harder.
But anyway, next hole, par 4, straight at the houses where I'm aiming at in front of me. This is a 5 DHY. So I've played each one of them. And the idea is on these firm fairways, like I said, if this lands in the middle of the fairway, which this one did, it just runs on for a long way. And you just, I mean, again, I've got sort of 70 odd yards into this flag. Flag was tight left. It was a stupid shot because I played at the flag. And what you're going to see now is I left myself with absolutely no shot whatsoever. So a bit of a dumb move, should have played right to the flag. And I'm not fancying this at all. 60-degree wedge, and I've got to admit, again, really, really pleased with that. Surprised it didn't roll out a little bit further. But the one good thing is the putter is doing a good job and managed to salvage another par. So at this point, just one over. This is a par 5 that causes me problems. I've played driver, I've played 5 wood, I get into a lot of trouble. This is the 3 DHY. And what I'm really pleased with here is just that's a perfect line for me.
Nice
inside of that tree line, just cutting back a little bit, and that's going to leave me bang centre of the fairway.
Yeah.
And again, this is a bit of a bottleneck. It's a par 5, it's not overly long, but it's about positioning. And I'm wary of the fact I've leaked a couple out right on this hole. So sort of guide one down the left-hand side.
Get away with that, won't I?
That sort of non-committal swing can be a bit dangerous, but I think you hear me say on camera that I got away with it. And yeah, it just bounced in, and it's not bad at all. And now I've just got a bit of a flick with a wedge. The green is on the back tier, which you can't see. It's a great hole, this. It's like a basin green, and there's very much 2 tiers to it, a lot of distance. And I say at this point,
wow, I got lucky there.
And that's because I literally pitched into that bank I'm now stood on, and if it had bounced forward, I'd have been in a lot of trouble. As it stands, it's back to that ping chipper, and a very delicate one, just to nudge down and get near the hole. And again, I'm just really pleased with what that's done. And another par. So we're still sat at 1 over, as I understand. Right, par 3, pitching wedge 124. Again, we're not doing the course justice because you can't see enough of it from this sort of level lie. But a great hole over very much a sort of, well, you either hit the green or you're in a lot of trouble. Big swinging putt down the hill. And for a long way, I'm thinking that's in the middle of the hole, and I didn't quite hit it, but we've still got the par, even though for whatever reason, we don't seem to have the putt. Anyway, next up, 3 DHY yet again. This is all about getting one chasing down there. Great hole. Makes a slight sweep from right to left, but that's in position A. You're never going to get an even lie on that fairway. But that's not too bad. And again, it was the 60-degree wedge, which I hit as hard as I could, as high as I could, because this green all runs away from front to back. And again, I didn't manage to get it to get to the hole, which I was surprised at.
Misread. I said I wouldn't read these. As I just said,
I didn't read the green very well. But we did make another par because the putter is on fire. Right, this is a tough hole, 17. It is 2 irons no matter what. Whether you're playing driver in the bag or whatever, I find you've got to hit an iron. And again, a bit of a guidey swing, and I've pulled that left, and that's out of bounds. It's not out of bounds, it's in heavy rough, and it's straight away for a reload, and we're 3 off the tee. So that's a real disappointment from where we've been so far. And then that swings back, just a nice gentle cut into a position, which is the black and white marker or anywhere in around there. And I'll switch over to my audio.
Oh, Jesus, hand.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with that. It was a pretty awful shot.
God.
I had a feeling I'd get away with it, and it was fine, but what an awful shot from like 150 or something in. This is the 60-degree wedge, the Jaws wedge, which again, I'm playing well with. But as I quickly worked back in my head, I think that would have been a triple bogey. Right, on to 18. And it's a real tough hole, and the one where you probably would be thinking you want driver. Probably at the best swing of the day, that's a 3 DHY. That tree line that it's on is exactly where I'm aiming, and it didn't leave it. So really pleased with that. And then go from that to this, which was, I left myself a long way in, but you'll see, I don't know what happened with that swing. It's horrendous. I've gone from the best swing of the day to the worst swing of the day. That was a 7-iron, by the way. And I left myself still a real awkward wedge because this green runs from front to back quite severely. I played the 60-degree as high as I could to land at the front, and it rolled out all the way down to pin high, which I was really pleased with. So we've got a putt again, which would be an up and down to save par. So a real good save yet again. I mean, arguably the putter saved me a few times, the short game saved me a few times. The triple bogey didn't help. I think that would have left us at 4 over, if I'm right. Correct me if I'm wrong, and it doesn't really matter. I was just, that's me watching it back and first thoughts after I've played it. The point was, did I miss any of the driver, fairways, hybrids? Well, I think the answer to that is absolutely no, I didn't. So it's all about very much setting your bag up to the conditions. If you're playing that same golf course, same yardage in the middle of the winter, then that's a different story because A, you've got the elements to compete with, such as the wind. You've then got the fact that the ground is wet underfoot, so you've got no roll. So no, that bag would not work in the middle of winter. However, in the middle of summer, those firm fairways mean that, you know, keeping control, that was the key. If you can find the centre of the fairways, arguably on most occasions I pretty much did. So that bit was pretty decent, I would say. You can see the swing changes. I've lost a little bit of yardage just now, just a tad. That cut is there, and we're going to try and work on straightening that up a little bit, but it's controllable at the moment. And the one thing that I've been pleased with right throughout this year has been the short game. The ping chipper does a job, as does this 60-degree wedge. They couldn't be more opposite in their sort of style of club. And the putter, again, maybe just sticking with that. I've been on that Toulon Las Vegas putter. I've been sticking with it, trying to always take that out in the bag, which is something I've been guilty of in the past, of always swapping when I'm never putting the clubs back in, my clubs back in the bag once I've done some testing. So the putter's been quite good, and I think 4 over with 3 off the tee on 17 for 10 holes was a really good return, to be fair. Right. It's something a bit different. We recorded this amongst some other videos we were doing at the time, and we thought we'd see what you think. As ever, you let me know. If you like them, then we'll do some more. If you don't like them, then we'll pull the plug on it. It's as simple as that. But thanks for watching. Hit the like button, do whatever you do, and I'll see you all soon. 10 minutes. Yes.